And now, your official TigerBait live show with Mike Scarborough and Buddy Songy starts now.
Here we are, TigerBait Live, another edition tonight. Welcome in, everybody. Mike Scarborough here with TigerBait.com, Baton Rouge sports talk legend, Buddy Songy to my left. Got a big show tonight. Very generic headline. It just says LSU football, LSU baseball, football, and basketball talk, recruiting, transfer portal as well. We're going to talk about everything, and you guys drive the show with your questions and comments. And as always, if you enjoy the show, please do us a favor. Hit the like button. Please share the show out to your social media. Text the link out to your fellow LSU fans and let them know we're live. And we'll be here till 7 o'clock interacting with you guys. Welcome in, buddy.
Good to see you, Mike. Good to see everybody. I am fired up today. I brought something out of the closet today when LSU was able to bring in Bernard Good, and everybody said, look, nice pickup. Quick first step. Give a little depth to Jacoby and Gilroy, Ahmad Bro, and McKinley and all those guys. But, man, I got fired up with A.J. Halsey coming in here, and what a haul it was. 18 in the transfer portal. Mike specifically asked BK at one of the practices at the back end of spring ball, what do you expect from the portal? He said, we figured that we're not going to have much movement, and it was 2-2. 2 departures and 2 acquisitions. But this A.J. Halsey, I'm not trying to put any pressure on here, but he fits like a glove. If he is a plug-and-play guy, you see this hat, folks? This is a championship hat. Mike already said it's discolored and it's yellow. It's 14 years old. When you wear hats like I do, they have a little age. But LSU is going to compete for the SEC championship in football this year. That's my first statement.
Halsey doesn't need to be Jamal Adams. He just needs to be very good. And I think he's that guy.
He had 5 INTs last year. LSU had one more as a team. Look, we're not going to beat up the guys that were playing safety last year, but you guys know who we're talking about. So when we get into football talk and a deep dive into the personnel, we'll do even more with but 6 safeties that are going to be in the mix, including Cooley from NC State, obviously Toviano, Joel Rogers, Spears, and then, of course, Jordan Gilbert coming back. But now I'm fired up. I really think this is, without a doubt, BK's best roster. And so I'm fired up about football, and I'm fired up about LSU Arkansas, last home series in Baton Rouge this year. And, folks, we've got a Fab Five of all those bad umpires. Here's the thing you don't want to see Friday night. You don't want to see Jeff Head behind the plate, because every time he is there along with his crew.
He was bad in College Station.
They're bad every time, it seemed like. Everybody.
I want him to go electronic.
Tony Vitello got thrown out this last weekend. Texas A&M.
After I was praising him last week for not rocking the boat and just being milquetoast while he was in town, so he got thrown out.
Yeah, well, he heard the show and he wanted to prove to you that he's still spicy. But my point is that big time weekend, Arkansas is 7-5 on the road, but they have a bunch of confidence because they just swept Texas, who had not lost the series all year long. Take all 3. You know, Dr.
But
Butler.
you nailed it earlier, though, when you and Buddy show every Wednesday. Still been doing it with Buddy for almost over 30 years, Wednesdays. And but Buddy made the comment, and you had Ben McDonald on talking about what the home field advantage. You know, you look at who's doing what at home, and that's the difference. That's how LSU goes to College Station and loses 2 out of 3.
Now, where else in this world would you have a 3-hour-plus rain delay, start at your favorite time, 9:55, and then when the walk-off comes at 1:17 in the morning, you still have 5,000 fans. Their loyalty there, they believe, so the fans have got to bring it. Kate Anderson, Friday night. Anthony Iacin, Saturday afternoon, 6:30 Friday, 5:30 Saturday, 3 o'clock on Sunday. Mother's Day, take care of your mother.
Zach Cowan will be back on track this weekend.
And Zach Cowan.
And LSU wins 2 out of 3.
So I'm going 2 out of 3. And, oh, by the way, how about softball? Shutout today. Now we found out how good they are tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock And Mike Scarborough is making crazy declarations that he will jog without a shirt 2 miles around this neighborhood tomorrow afternoon if they beat OU. You in?
You know, remember the last declaration I made like that?
Yeah, our early do set.
Early do set. If he doesn't sign with LSU, I run naked down Skip Burtman Drive.
Yeah. But anyway, hope everybody's doing well. I'm in a great mood. Hope all of you doing well. And once again, we kid the Tiger fan base about, being an Aggie fan and the lack of
blowing
championships.
bubbles.
Well, no, all the weird stuff. But guess what? My Aggie buddy texted me up and he said, I'm tired of your crap. And what do you mean? He said, we beat you in football. We beat you in basketball. We beat you in softball. And we stole that last game, beat you 2 out of 3 in baseball, where LSU very easily could have won that game. And I said, yeah, and you still haven't been down championship lane in God knows 80 years or whatever it is. But lo and behold, folks, coming down the stretch, a lot of fun. Hope you're enjoying it as much as Mike and I are.
Absolutely. All right, let's get to it. Chance Babin, first up, true or false, spring portal kids are highly overrated and overpriced.
What?
That spring portal versus December, that they're overrated and overpriced. The market dictates. It's certainly not going to be as deep as December. And if you're in a bind and you need a position that multiple other schools need, you probably do overpay for someone who's isn't worth that kind of money because you have to have it.
I think that the point is well taken from Chase. He always brings great points in here. Appreciate his loyalty to the show and his regularity of messaging.
But I have not heard that LSU overpaid for Hulsey. I know there's been some numbers thrown around out there, but I'm told that's not true.
Yeah, you would know better the numbers, far better than I would do. All I know is this. If you saw, and I'm not going to throw the names or the numbers out there, and you saw their lack of ability to come up and make contact and cover over the top and all the things the safeties did, appreciably better there. If he's a plug-and-play guy, he's worth every nickel, because guess what's happening, folks? You remember what Ohio State and Ole Miss did last year? You remember? They pushed all of their chips into the middle of the poker table. Ole Miss choked, lost to Kentucky, gave one away to LSU, ended up with 3 losses. And Ohio State, even though they lost to Michigan and had 2 losses in the regular season, they still won the Natty. So my point is that I hope LSU's the 2025 version of Ohio State, but you still got to make the plays and you still have to coach them up, Mike. And that's why it's so fun trying to figure out what's going to happen.
Fire 349, hit the like button. Absolutely. Thank you for that. And he also gives an update. Says LSU Shreveport baseball 51-0 and won the Red River Athletic Conference tournament. That's good.
The Pilots.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
James Moore. Hey, Mike and Buddy. The way Brian Kelly approached the transfer portal so aggressively, do you think he's feeling the pressure to at least get in the playoffs? I think, yeah, he's certainly feeling the pressure to get in the playoffs. He's feeling the pressure to win an opening season game. The difference is if he does go 8-4 again, it's just going to be ugly on talk radio. It's going to be ugly on this show. It's going to be ugly on message boards and social media. But he's not going anywhere.
No.
And so it's a moot point, but certainly, I joked around today saying that there's a reason why Scott Woodward spends all his time in the football facility, and BK sees him more in a week than Jay Johnson and Mulkey see him in 2 years. It's because that's where the money's made, and they understand how they have to get that roster right. They've embraced the new era of college football and the NIL era, and it's what you have to do to get right. And it's we've kind of looked at it each year since this has happened and since BK got here. And he said since day one, I want to build this program through high school recruits. And I don't know what that number is going to be. Is it 40-60? Because it ain't 70-30 like I think he wishes it would be.
But it's all changed.
When you look at who's going to run across and get the white panel football in the last home game for senior night, how many of those are actually guys you signed? I mean, what's that? That number is getting worse and worse every year.
But the landscape of college football is changing. If you remember when he came in here, the the MO and the saying was graduate champions. And then, of course, he threw the P word out there. We're not going to pay for players. Well, what he really meant was we're not going to overpay. When you see Ohio State, Ole Miss, all these other teams, and Georgia and Alabama have been doing it under the table for all these years, just like everybody else. And it'll be interesting to see what happens with revenue sharing, because everybody's going to be limited, $20.5 billion per athletic department.
It's a reverse car salesman deal. How many times does Frank Wilson and these guys have recruits in, and the parents are there, and it's the father of a player who's the car salesman.
Mm-hmm.
You can have great facilities. You can treat them to a great meal at the high dollar restaurant on Perkins. But it's going to the conversation quicker than not is going to get to how much you're going to pay us.
Yeah, I agree, and that's what I'm saying. But they finally have realized in year 4, you got to admit, they have made a concerted effort. I gave Austin Thomas a lot of props, and I do think we've got to give him a big shout out tonight, because he has done one hell of a job of organizing the collectives and organizing the money coming in here. And Mike, it's big boy money. And if you want to compete for this SEC championship, you got to pay, and you got to retain, and you got to keep people happy. Yes, James Moore, he's got a lot of pressure on him this year. He knows what everybody's talking about, but so does Nuss, and so does every other coach in the SEC. Nobody wants to think they're going to lose a few ball games. Dabo Swinney has got a lot of pressure on him at Clemson. You know how it is.
Yep.
You don't go long without having pressure, but I just think that LSU's got appreciably more talent. And oh, by the way, Mike and I are both projecting that LSU takes 2 or 3 this weekend. Then you go and you sweep Maneri. If you give up 1, fine, but you're still at 19. If you win 2 and 2 or 3 next weekend, you're at 19 or 20. You host a regional, you host a super regional. That's your best recipe to get to Omaha.
Sam Holson, is Mulkey going to get another big? It's been quiet. I was told a while back that they are absolutely looking. And there's some out there that they were pursuing, but it's been quiet, and I need to do a follow-up, frankly. We'll see.
Flaugier and Fulwiley are going to be the fastest duo in college basketball. I'm already predicting it. It is going to be fun to watch. Now, Kate Covell and the young lady from ECU and Grace and all the people coming in, they better be in shape, because they're going to run. But, man, that's exciting, too. On the look, I think they just had a tournament or something a week or 2 ago. Fulwiley, the MVP. She can play, folks.
Hi, I'm Michael with Pride Roofing.
I'm Little Alex.
Have you been affected by wind, hail, and tornadoes on the North Shore? Well, we're here to help.
Insurance claim, no problem.
We also have a new franchise location in New Orleans.
We don't build projects, we build memories.
Though you know Pride Roofing is the official roofer of TigerBait.com.
In fact, notify TigerBait and we'll give you a free roof inspection, and on top of that, you get a free year subscription. Remember to call us at 855-PRIDE-16.
855-PRIDE-16. Call them. When you call them to get your free roof inspection, and that's whether it's residential or commercial, when you say TigerBait, they're going to pay for you to get TigerBait Premium free for a year. Cannot beat that deal. Of course, Mike Faraday, a longtime friend of mine, I've been knowing him my entire life, and Alex Martinez, 2 of the finest people out there, and they built a fantastic company with multiple locations in Louisiana. Mike Faraday, of course, a Broadmoor High and LSU grad, main location in Hammond, brand new location here in Baton Rouge, Houma, the North Shore, New Orleans. They've got you covered like a blanket all throughout Baton Rouge and Southeast Louisiana. Real big in Mandeville, Madisonville, Covington, Slidell. They've got you covered all throughout, again, the Florida parishes, East Baton Rouge, West Baton Rouge, and on down south.
Hey, look, we talk about money with NIL. They will do as whatever you need to do. In fact, if you've got a bona fide proposal from another company, are they still, is it 150?
150 off if you've got it on their letterhead.
They do it all, folks. Residential, commercial, metal roofs. We talk about it every week, but they care. I don't think we stress enough about the fact that they care. Girlfriend had a friend, needed a new roof, got Mike over there. They care. That's not what everybody is doing.
By
these
the way,
days.
I was told one time the hit rate on a TigerBait lead was like 95%. Why is that? Because they go the extra mile. They're going to earn your business.
1-855-PRIDE-16. All we ask is an opportunity. Make sure you tell Mike and Alex and everybody that Mike Scarborough and Buddy sent you over.
Absolutely.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats, the flavor says it all.
I'm starving. I'm looking at all that food on that Manda commercial. Man, it looks good, buddy.
Hey, I had Ben McDonald on the show today. Always enjoyable guy. Gives so many great topics and so many stories now. But he's got Lynn Rollins on Friday night on the SEC Network Plus, and then he'll be on the SEC Network. But we're going to serve up Ben and his partners with a little Manda sausage and boudin. So if you see Ben Trump, they were eating crawfish and all that other stuff. But he just makes the darn game so enjoyable. And you know, when you got 3.5 hours to kill on a baseball broadcast, you talk food, you talk LSU, you talk about what is important around here. But grill it up before the game out at the stadium. And as always, Manda Fine Meats where flavor and spice really do say it all. And
he's sticking with 18 wins, isn't he?
What's that?
Is he sticking with 18?
Well, no, he predicted 18 before the season. We don't change. You predicted 19. PFM, our great caller of the year, said 17. I said 20. Zach Nagy said 20. Todd Walker would not give a number. He did not want to give a number.
Why is that?
I don't know. I asked him on that. But all that being said, they need you this weekend, and Manda certainly appreciates all of your loyalty out there.
Absolutely. All right, let's get some more questions and comments in. All right, I had one up earlier that I needed to get that I flashed on the screen from Chance Babin. How did y'all grade safety coach Jake Olson last season?
Man. I mean,
look, if you want to say like who are the coaches that need to have some success at their position groups this year, it's Jake Olson and Brad Davis.
Well, first of all, let's say this. I think when you come in as a first year, it's hard to ascertain what kind of impact he's had. Now, we all know Corey's been here before. Corey's been part of DBU. Corey knows what he's looking for as a corner. He likes the long, lean guy, 6'2", 175, 180, grows into 6'2", 200. We don't know about Jake Olson and what he prefers. We don't know his recruiting pedigree. But I know one thing. He did not have a lot of talent to work with last year. And so just from the talent alone that's been acquired, he's going to get appreciably better. But I think this is a big question, and let's just put it out there.
Here's the thing. The guys that they have gotten, it's not like they're donkeys coming out of high school. They were all highly thought of, highly recruited, highly rated. I mean, I'm just astonished that Spears hasn't done anything.
Well, but I was just getting ready.
That's a letdown.
I was just getting ready to ask you. So is that on Deshaun Spears or is that on Jake Olson that he don't want to come up and tackle and that he don't want to?
Right.
You know, you got to blame half the player and half the coach, and hopefully that safety position is going to be worlds better. I mean, you got some areas that you can improve, but they've still got to do it. But you and I don't know how good a coach Jake Olson is. I don't think there's enough skins on the wall.
Right. Fire 3 for Hornet Mike. LSU men's basketball has 13 players. This leaves room for potential return of Trey Green. Do you think he will? I don't think he does. I think it's all football now.
What?
Trey is Green.
Oh, no, Trey is Green. No. That was an experiment, and they let Trey do that. By the way, the last one, you love this guy, Zipper. You got to.
That's what Brad DeVeed's question is. Next question.
Left-handed sharpshooter Ron Zipper played in the Israeli league. I don't know about his foot speed or whatever, but if he's got an open jumper, he can nail it. But you know, I got this question asked by the TIA. How do we know if those guys are going to translate to being able to competitive in the SEC? It's so good.
Yep.
So let's just wait and see. But yeah, Zipper on his film, I was impressed with his shooting ability.
And Fire says, why can't we get a thumper of a safety like Craig Stelz? And Brian Penton, good evening, Mike and Buddy. Have y'all heard anything about the new basketball arena? I've been chasing that for several months. There was some discussion that there might be activity at the last Board of Supervisor meeting at the end of April. That did not happen. I think it's been pushed. Will it be May? I don't know. But I think we're on the cusp of having some info. I'll just leave it at that. I tend to think I think the world of Kelly Zinn. I think she's a rock star. I think maybe they thought it was going to go a little bit quicker. I think what my thought is on this, and I kind of got some confirmation, is that you've got these entities out there that are a part of building arenas worldwide. And so this type of deal like they did in Austin is something that LSU is looking to do. There's no impediments locally. It's out the city council, mayors, there's nothing. Your first thought is, oh boy, it's going to be an issue getting stuff done. I think they're all on the same page locally. I think what it is that those entities that look to build new arenas, they have a list of venues, list of possible locations. And maybe they're going to do 4 or 5 of them in the next 10 years throughout the world. Maybe they're doing 2 or 3 in the United States, whatever it is. I think Baton Rouge is maybe the second or third one that they do next, not the first one. So does it happen like they were talking last spring at this time when Kelly Zinn did a couple interviews, and there would be that there could be a new arena by in 4 or 5 years? Maybe it's 5 or 6, maybe it's 6 or 7. But I absolutely do think there will be a new arena within a decade.
I don't want to be a negative Nelly. I don't want to be a doubting Thomas. This is Louisiana. It's going to be over budget and not on time. Take it to the bank.
Well, and that's the other part.
Take it to the frickin' bank. Going to be over budget and not on time. Remember I said that.
Well,
it's already, you just said it was going to be 4 or 5 years. Now it's extended to 5 to 6. Probably going to be 7 or 8 years, folks.
It will happen within 10.
Oh, I hope so. I'd love to see the thing pop up in 4 years.
But we're also, too, okay, I mean, it's mostly concrete, so you're not worrying about tariffs because you're trying to import a bunch of wood from Canada. But still, building materials and inflation, and you might bid it out right now, and then by the time it gets okayed 18 months from now and you start building, then what's the price of all those materials at that point? So,
and everybody with Louisiana wants to have their palm grease. So I wish it was this simple. I'd love to be wrong. I'd love to eat crow. I will stand by my statement. It will be over budget and not on time.
I'm glass half full.
Good. I'm glad you on that. I'll be glass half full on football. You be glass half full on waiting on an arena in the state of Louisiana. Good freaking luck.
All right. Andy Whitaker, FizzBuzz. I have much higher expectations for this year than I have for the previous 3. I expect at least 10 wins this season and a playoff spot.
What do you say? How many 10?
10 in a playoff spot. He expects it.
Let's have fun. Me and FizzBuzz are going to do this. We're going to have a bet at some point when we get into June, July, when we get closer. And I'm agree with him. LSU's going to win double-digit football games this year. I don't know how many, but double-digit. Now, there's a caveat. You could win 9 in the regular season and win a bowl game, and that's still 10 games, right?
You're at 9-3 right now, aren't you?
I don't have a number right now.
But are you predicting a win over Clemson?
I don't know. I want to see what they look like in August. But I'm just saying, I'm with FizzBuzz. If it's 10 via a bowl, so be it. But if it's 10 in the regular season, watch out, because FizzBuzz are going to be texting you up saying, Mike, I told you.
Here's the thing. I agree with Andy on the first part. I think this is probably his best team.
Absolutely.
But I don't like the schedule.
Yeah. Schedule is tough. Schedule's tough.
If they can somehow pull off that game in Clemson, everything can happen.
And that defense has got to play lights out early in the year, because the offense had the TA on. You know what he says? It generally takes 3 games for an offensive line to gel. Now we got to throw in the fact that 4 of these 5 have not started before. Yeah, I know you can say they're starting the bowl game or whatever. That's irrelevant to what they're facing. But if you can somehow win that football game against Clemson and bring them along, then you got a chance, Fitzbuzz.
Dr. Sibley Butler with a super chat. Thank you, Dr. Butler. Do y'all think that they will take Pete's name off the new arena? No, I think what happens is the current PMAC stays the PMAC. I don't think they transfer the name. They're not the plan is to keep the PMAC, and there's scuttlebutt behind the scenes. Will gymnastics be in the new arena or the current PMAC? There's a lot, jockeying for a position on that kind of stuff, because if the builders of the new arena, they want dates. It's all about dates. How many days of the year does the men's basketball team get in there? How many dates does the women need? How often do they get to practice in the new arena versus having to practice in the PMAC? Because there's a concert in town or a tractor pull, whatever it is. God, I hope they don't have tractor pulls in it, but you know what I'm saying. Is it World Wrestling Federation in town that night? Whatever.
Hey, having Dr. Butler
just have anything but Leonard Skinner reunion tour, and we'll be fine.
Hey, I'm having Dr. Butler on the radio show Friday to talk a little bit about his mentoring at both LSU and Texas. Great fan of the show. Appreciate all of him. I just hope I'm still alive. I won't be in the media when this thing launches, but I just hope I'm still alive when that arena, and I'll be able to call you up on the phone and say, I hope you're happy. But
yeah, you better be there.
Look, you're talking about gymnastics and all of that. You just don't know, Mike. With Louisiana politics, you just never know how it's going to play out. But obviously, a good question about the Pete Maravich Assembly Center and what they're going to do with that.
Thank you, Dr. Butler. Wilk, hey, Mike and Buddy, how you feeling about McMahon's portal pickups? I really like the kid from Ohio. I like what I've seen of Zipper, some of that film. I don't know. Is what they brought in enough to move the needle? If it's a carbon copy of this past season, and you only need to avoid the last 2 spots in the league to make the NCAA tournament, then is there enough there to not be one of those 2 at the bottom? I don't know.
Well, look, the point guard, which they paid a hefty price for, is going to give LSU some speed and some transition.
And he's got some nice high school kids coming in.
Yeah, they got high school kids. So I think the IDK is the way to go. I don't think anybody knows right now, not even McMahon. But they are going to be better. The question is, how strong will the league be, and what kind of start will they have? And can these guys kick it up from being mid-major stars to playing in the SEC night in and night out?
Carl the Cat Dunn, LSU is beating Oklahoma tomorrow.
I like it, Cat. I will not be. In fact, Cat, that could be a job for you. Are you in agreement with that? You'll run 2 miles around the subdivision without the shirt.
Carl the Cat, you can meet him at the airport at 4:30 tomorrow afternoon. And
hey, not that I'm trying to coach Tarina, but the way Jaden Heavner is throwing right now, I would start her against Oklahoma. She had
that Seaman's question, is Berzon injured?
Something's going on with Sydney Berzon.
There's been something going on for a while.
She's either sick, she has not been herself, and right now I would start the lefty. Carl the Cat, I'd start the lefty tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. She had a problem with walks, didn't have any walks today, and so that would be something if LSU could beat Oklahoma tomorrow. But all kidding aside, with Mike, they are fighting, believe it or not, as much as we downplay softball. They're fighting. If they win this game, they've got a chance with their RPI, which right now is 5, to host not only a regional, but a super regional, if they win tomorrow.
My question for you out there, and answer in the comments section, if you're a season ticket holder for LSU's softball and you sit in the first 3 or 4 rows at the stadium, are you more annoyed with the guy behind the plate that's on TV all game long with a weightlifting belt or a wrestling belt? Are you aggravated more than the guy at Vanderbilt who has to sit next to the Vandy Whistler?
Boy, that is a tough question.
Who's more annoying? Because when I look at LSU softball on TV playing at home, there's nobody around that guy.
Yeah, well, I know.
Because nobody wants to sit there.
Yeah, look, one sense is hearing, the other sense is seeing. I don't know which alienates me the most, but I will say this. The guy does promote LSU, but then again, so does James Carfield, and not too many people like that from time to time.
Yeah,
including my guy on the right.
All right, Brad DeVee, do you think LSU should be underdogs against Clemson? They are, since it's on the road. What is it, 2.5, 3 right now?
2.5, 3.
I think it'll be close to 7 points by kickoff.
I think the highest that thing would go up to would be 3.5 or 4, but we'll see. Clemson is going to be preseason top 5 to 6. Most people pick at LSU top 7, 8, or 9. You're going to have 2 top 10 teams, hopefully on the night of August 30th.
Mac asks, is Jay's Arkansas preview presser tomorrow? It is. We get him at 11. We'll have all that here on TigerBait right after. We'll have Jay and a couple of LSU player interviews right here on LSU Tigers on TigerBait and on TigerBait.com. All right, I need to talk about our good friends over at Genesis of Lafayette. And look, there's no finer place to buy a luxury vehicle than Genesis of Lafayette, the premier luxury dealership, offering the finest cars and SUVs in the region, coupled with the best service anywhere. Genesis of Lafayette has a huge inventory of new and certified pre-owned Genesis vehicles. So for a truly first-class automotive experience, it's Genesis of Lafayette. It's 6800 Johnson Street. And shop out online. You can see what they have in stock, genesisoflafayette.com, or you can call them at 877-856-2961. Jaron Guidry, the sales manager, and his team are fantastic. Blake Mesh is a fantastic salesman. Ask for Blake. He's the bomb. Tell him TigerBait sent you in, and you see it right there on the screen. That is the new interest rate for this month, 3.99 APR for 60 months on the GV80, and the GV70 is 2.99 for 60 months, or you can get 3.99 APR for 70 months. That's on 2025s. That's not old 2024 inventory. Cannot beat that deal. Go test drive a Genesis. There's a reason why that's the best small and mid-size luxury SUVs for the dollar, and best interiors in the business, period.
They make it worth your while to go see them in Lafayette, folks.
Absolutely. All right, let's see. Well, I'm messing up all over the place. 1 second. Let me get that down.
Jake Pete's in the house.
Yeah, there you go. Dr. Butler says sportscasters are shy about ranking the Tigers high because we have lost the opener so many times. That's where I'm at, and Clemson's very, very good, and you're playing them at their place. And I've just watched BK's teams and openers look like they're a week behind preparation the other team they're playing. It's been that way since he got here.
So I agree with all of what you just said. But in year 4, the LSU fan base doesn't want to hear the excuses. What has been the constant in all 3 of those opening losses? Special teams problem. He brought in a guy from Bramlett. Are you going to be appreciably better there? You know the offense with Nussmeier, your quarterback. He's not starting for the first time. He's got experience, and I was surprised at your answer. I asked Mike today on the radio show if he thought Nussmeier would get an invite to New York with the Heisman ceremony presentation, and he said yes. So you have that going with you. But I will go back down to, once again, the plays that BK makes. In other words, you get inside the 5, Mike. You remember how many times the last 3 years they gave up on a field goal and went for it on 4th down and got turned away? You've got to do a better job of calling plays inside the red zone. You've got to take advantage of the talent you have. But this is all about players. They're going to be better players. They've got to coach better to get over the hump.
Chance Babbitt is Beth Torina, the Mark Richt of softball. I've been saying she's the Kirk Ferentz of softball, but you're in the same ballpark.
It's been since 2017 since Beth Torina and the Lady Tigers have gone to OKC. And if they can get Sydney Berzon right, I predicted this on this show that they would make it to OKC. And I'm not going to back down. You know, you grow up and you're saying, hey, let's play to 11. I'm playing one-on-one with you. You're growing up as a kid. I get to 11, and then you say, hey, let's play to 21. You change the rules right in the middle of the game. I'm not going to change my prediction. But if Sydney Berzon can come back, They've got a chance to host a regional and a super regional and get to OKC. That being said, back to BK, man, they have got to have a football team ready to go week 1 against Clemson. And until they do that, the fan base is going to have doubts.
Andy Whitaker Fizzbuzz says that earlier was not his prediction. That's his expectation as a fan.
Okay.
Well, so what is your prediction?
It's too early to predict. He's going to say the same thing. Mike, we don't know what they look like right now.
Yep. LSU needs to get a rodeo team. I was thumbing through Netflix last night, and I'm watching this show with Michael Shannon about the rowing team. And I'm watching, and I wasn't paying attention. I'm like, hold on, that's LSU. That was filmed at LSU. And then the rowing scenes were filmed on False River. And I'm like, and so I'm looking at it, I'm like, how far south do rowing teams come? And it started last year. There's actually 3 or 4 schools in the SEC that have rowing teams. And I think half of them, or maybe all of them, it's for women, where they were adding a women's sport. But I know it's been a club sport at LSU for a while, but would it ever be a elevate to a real sport? But
yeah, I'm gonna let Mike handle that one on this account.
Yep. Let's see.
Oh, by the way, real quick, if you could, folks, find it in your heart to put out your prayers for Robert Tyler's family, the big fullback. Really a snot knocker, did some incredible things blocking and just a hard-nosed, tough, gentle giant. He passed away this week. And so the former fullback, I think he was somewhere around 47 or 48. So may Robert Tyler and his family, we once again, we did it with Kyron Lacey.
What years was he?
Well, figure it out.
Was that DiNardo?
Well, we're looking it out. It's 25 years ago, so that would be right around 2000. So that would be the end of DiNardo, right into Saban. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's see.
Rest in peace, Big Rob.
Yes, he was a great kid.
Yeah, really was.
Burzon gives up too many meatballs out there.
Macy Bergeron is the catcher, and she's had a good year. Nobody's had as good a year as Tori Edwards, who needs one more home run to set the LSU single-season record.
Dane Bergeron house. Good evening, Mike and Buddy. Glad to have you, Dane. He says I'm wearing the faded Alabama shirt, and he says he sends a super chat telling me to leave Beth alone. She has women who look like women on her team. The NCAA should be steroid testing for women's softball.
Oh goodness! Well,
holy smokes!
I'm not going down there. Although I did see a message on your bulletin board where Tiger Shark got after you a little bit about Beth Tarina and beating Oklahoma tomorrow. Look, we're pulling for you, Coach. But once again, Oklahoma, man, they coming into the conference and right out of the gate, they're going to contend and won another natty in gymnastics. Got a great chance to win one in softball, but it would be nice to see LSU take them down.
Does Tarina need to get to Oklahoma City this year?
Or what?
There's no or what, just for
PR standpoint?
For people to be justified in supporting her.
I think people agree with that, but as I've said, she's locked in. You get upset with Woody and everybody else, but 2 years ago she got a 2-year extension. So LSU owes her $445 this year, next year, following year, the third year. I mean, the fourth year.
And a $50,000 longevity bonus.
That's right. I told you that. I looked it up. So they owe her $1.83, but they do have a new hitting coach that has been around in the second year, and they got rid of Dobson and some other people out there. They've got some talent coming in, so let's pull for them.
Speaking of longevity bonuses, Palmineri go more than 2 years.
At Carolina?
Mm-hmm.
Boy, that's a tough call. He's going to get next year, but I don't know the third year because they've got a new AD, Mike.
Yeah. Tanner,
the guy that hired him, of course, is no longer there. He's retiring.
Thanks for the super chat, Dane. Bear 24, I think they need to move the fences back in women's softball. Pierce Lee, ULM has a build. We're saying they're like 15 or 20-time champs in water sports. I think they had a water ski team that was out of this world for a long time. But that's a club sport. Looking for D. Question for you guys. We have not run the ball well for a few years. If we run the ball better, we would win 10 games easy. Yeah. Look. Great tight ends, great receivers, great running backs, great quarterback. You got everything. If that offensive line comes along and Chris Hilton's healthy, and then you got Brown and Nick Anderson to go along with all your other wide receivers, Bauer Sharp, and I talked about it with Buddy today. Get that takeaway number up a bit.
Got to have more takeaways on defense.
If Blake Baker's defense is absolutely stout and a juggernaut and one of the better defenses in the nation, which it very well could be, with what you got coming off the edge, you got added depth on the interior, you got linebackers for days, you just got you a safety answer. You got to believe you're going to have decent, at a minimum, cornerback play, which will be helped by your edge rushers. You could end up, regardless of whether I think they're going 9-3, 8-4. That defense could be the X factor.
Well, look, I think the viewer and his point, I agree with him 100%. If LSU can run the football, they're going to win 10 games. Nuss is going to run a little bit more, but how much will it be? Will it be just to pick up first downs? Are they going to call a quarterback draw inside the red zone? Probably not, but running game would help Nuss a bunch.
Yeah. Y'all do me a favor. If y'all enjoying the show, hit that like button. We're going to be here for a little while longer, and we're going to go till 7 o'clock. So get your questions and comments in, and need to talk about Dykes Electrical, the official electrical company of TigerBait.com. So no matter how big or small your electrical needs may be, Dykes is wired for success. If you need a new 10-story office building, they can wire that. A 200,000 square foot warehouse that you need built, they can wire that. Expanding your existing commercial building, they can wire that. Changing out a breaker, whole electrical panel, or just a receptacle in your home or office, they can wire that. Give them a call today at the number on your screen, 225-216-9180 for a free estimate. And make sure to let them know TigerBait sent you in. Big LSU fans, a locally owned Baton Rouge business, and big-time LSU fans, and they are crackerjack. Fantastic electricians there. And, boy, they do whole schools. They do big facilities, and all the way down to a camp that you have on False River. Whatever it is you need, they're the people to get it done for you.
Great name in the city of Baton Rouge. Everybody knows about the Dykes and quality, big LSU fans. And look, everybody's going to be wired up. Speaking about what they can wire, everybody's going to be wired up for that first game. But appreciate the folks over at Dykes.
Absolutely. And all right, let's dive into. Hold on, I got one more I need to get in, and that is Struby's, man. And man, look at that on the screen. I'm absolutely starving. Book your reservation at Struby's. Go to strubys.com. Look at the menu. Again, a 5-star dining experience at a great price. Located at 107 3rd Street, downtown Baton Rouge. And USDA prime black Angus steaks, 100% certified Wagyu New York strip. They've got the dry-aged pork chop, black truffle lobster pasta, redfish, duck Louisiana, steak Diane, and, man, some of their appetizers. Always the lamb lollipops are fantastic, and get the crawfish mac and cheese. Again, strubys.com, downtown Baton Rouge, 107 3rd Street. All live shows are brought to you by Struby's Seafood and Steaks.
We've been down there about 3 times. So folks, I call them up. I say, hey, what's the parking? Do you have a table? Very, very outstanding service. And I am a fan of the pork chop. Had that twice already. You're the fan of the cowboy steak, but man, those lollipops, I tell you what, you're starting to make me salivate a little bit.
And great dessert menu.
Yes.
Great desserts, all made in-house. All right, let's see what we got here. C-Man, LSU gave up 270 yards per game against SEC teams running the football on both sides of the ball. That will determine whether we make the playoffs. I think Blake Baker's defense was highly improved last year, and I think it's going to be greatly improved again this year.
That number sounds a little bit high. He may have it in front of me, but I don't know if they gave up 270 a game in the SEC. I don't know if I broke it down, but there's no doubt, Mike. We talked about it. Remember, I asked Blake Baker, "Can you stop the run right up to A gap?" And now you've got more talented D tackle. We're going to see what they have at Mike linebacker. How well will Perkins be utilized this year?
He had a third of the talent he needed on that defense last year. And how improved was it from the year before?
Well, and then, of course, the safety play. So I would be shocked if LSU doesn't allow less than 200 on the ground in the SEC.
Yep. All right, let's see.
You're not the only one hungry tonight.
Yeah. Blair Barbier. How about that? Barry Barbier. Andy Canizero, who is a major league scout for the Dodgers, actually has South Carolina as a part of his territory. All right. Dane Bergeron says, I talked to Jenny Finch earlier today, and she thinks Beth is a good coach.
Of course, Jenny was here last weekend to give an award to the third baseman, Danica Coffey.
Yep. Cheetah Turner, D.A. Kelly, don't call us play Sloan does. I swear LSU fans blame weather, economy, and bad food on BK.
Who's this we're talking to? What did you say his name was?
Cheetah Turner.
Cheetah Turner. Cheetah, I will say it like this to you. Did Joe Sloan call plays for LSU last year as the offensive coordinator? Was that his first year calling plays at LSU?
No.
Yes. Denbrock was there.
That's right. Yeah.
BK has his hands all over the offense. He's been calling plays and a head coach for 30-something years. He's not going to give Joe full go on whatever you want to call. Trust me, if you got Joe and had a few drinks with him, BK is heavily involved.
And don't think Denbrock in his coming and going with BK back and forth over the years
absolutely
isn't a part of because of BK meddling.
And so it's both. It's everybody. They get together. They come up with a game plan. They figure out what they want to do in short yardage, inside the red zone, all of that. Bottom line is that I think LSU is going to have to get rid of the ball quickly this year because of the doubts with the O-line. Got a lot of skilled people, but BK is involved in the play calling. Sorry, Cheetah. If you don't understand and believe that, I can't help you. The man is making $10 million. He's got a lot of pressure. He's involved in the play calling.
Now, DA, who he was saying that to, says, well, Cheetah, so be it, but he gets the blame anyway. He can refuse to call and change it, so that's my deal on it.
Well, we're not talking about actually where remember when Les would take the play sheet and was trying to, you don't have time to change a call during the game. But at timeouts and game planning, everybody's going to have a say. And trust me when I tell you, that is going to be.
Cortez Hankton's in there too.
Cortez Hankton, Brad Davis, now Alex Atkins, who's the run game coordinator. My point is that it falls on Joe Sloan because he's the OC. But I just I wish BK would give Joe a little bit more reign. We've talked about this for 2 years now. We see it in spring, and everybody's spread out. We saw 14 and 10 with 12 personnel. We saw 3 and 4 wide receivers. We saw them get rid of the ball quickly. And then you get into the season, put the tape in against USC, put the tape in some of the other games, and they get conservative in the second half. And they start running the ball up the middle on second down, which picked up nothing. So it is complicated to put the blame on one person, and it's probably a group. But that is one of the keys to whether they're going to make the playoffs and beat Clemson. Play calling in the red zone before the half and at the end of the game. All those are very important to finishing games. Mike, there's so little difference between great teams and good teams. And play calling can get LSU over the hump. You still got to do it.
Looking for Diaz. Coach Mulkey got any more bigs? She is targeted for depth. Have you heard? Talked about that earlier in the show. I need to follow up to be truthful. I was told about a week ago, maybe a little longer than a week, that there was some that they were looking at, but where that's at now, I don't know.
And the three divas last year are replaced by the three divas this year. Michaela, Flaugier, and Fulwally are going to get their shots. So you need some role players.
Alumni Hall, everybody, get over there and tell them TigerBait sent you in. You say TigerBait at the register, or if you shop online at alumnihall.com, you're going to get 10% off your entire order, and you can use that code every time you buy from the great folks over at Alumni Hall. Of course, right there in Perkins Row, beautiful store, and they've got everything you can imagine in there. That place is packed to the gills. You walk in that front door, tables and tables of 2 for $38 T-shirts, and it's all great quality, great designs. I'm telling you, if there's something out there made in the world that you want an LSU logo on it, if it's made, they've got it in that store. And that's what's great too. If you're in DeRidder, Shreveport, Monroe, Alexandria, and you can't get to town to shop there, the stuff ships from the Baton Rouge store. You're going to get it very, very quick. And so again, go to alumnihall.com, say TigerBait, or if you're shopping online, use the code TigerBait, all one word, to save 10%, and get free shipping on all orders over $99. Always.
Fantastic LSU store. I always tell you, give yourself a half hour when you get over there. Traffic's always going to be bad, but always some great stuff. And look, had that NIL function with the lady basketball players about a month ago. Very successful.
They are very involved in NIL, and that's the way it should be done. Great. They've had that event now 2 years in a row, and where they provide with the sheets and the posters for you to have signed and no charge. And of course, they pay the players to be there, and that's the way NIL is supposed to work. And great people over Alumni Hall here in town. And Capital City Grill, LSU's home series this weekend. Go eat brunch at Capital City Grill. You'll probably see me there Sunday morning, and I'll be ordering that chicken and waffles that you see right there on the screen. Fantastic lunch and brunch spot located at 100 Lafayette Street, downtown Baton Rouge. They've got burgers, po' boys, seafood pasta. You see that $12 dream cake up on the screen. Go to capitalcitygrill.net. Check out the menu. Great burgers, great French dip sandwich, club sandwich, very reasonable prices. Most everything on the menu is priced at $30 or below. And but the Sunday brunch from 11 to 2, head over there before you go to Alex Box and get a great meal before you head over to the ballpark. And you'll probably see me there.
And outdoor seating is a lot of fun, man. You're right that the wind off the river coming in there, it doesn't remind you of Baton Rouge, reminds you of somewhere else. Club sandwich to die for. Seafood, great bar.
French fries.
Great fry. Well, yeah, we love fries wherever, but they just do it up right. We're very consistent. Go in there and talk with the bartenders. They'll have
great bar.
Again,
great
bar.
Great place to have a drink.
So
Struby's has a great bar too. Both of them do.
Yep.
All right. Anything? Let's see. Anything you want to add on the way out?
Just that softball tomorrow morning. We'll see who Beth throws. If it's the lefty, I like LSU's chances to pull the upset. Got to see what's going on with Sydney Berzon. And, of course, that would be big for them to win that game. As we said, that would inch them closer to hosting a regional and a super regional. Baseball, Friday night. Ben was talking about probably going to be a pitching duel, low scoring. Arkansas has really tore it up in the SEC, but they're only 7-5 on the road. So got to win first game. You do that. The crowd's involved in it. Look, you and I are frustrated with weather. There's a 50% chance of rain on Friday. Hopefully that gets out of here, because if Mike has to wait till 9:55 again for the start, then the little girl that does his stuff or the guy that does your stuff is not going to wait around till 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yep. Tell me this. They need to win 2 out of 3 the next 2 weeks, and I'll hit the 19.
You'll hit the 19, and LSU will probably host a super regional. If you're in the top 4, of course, everybody knows in the LCC baseball tournament, you get the double bye. I don't think they care about the tournament.
Yeah, we talked about that with Kendall Rogers. And I wasn't even thinking about it from him. A lot of people Love going to Hoover in the SEC baseball tournament. And now with the single elimination, I think they really did the fans dirty on that. I wonder if that's going to end up lasting.
Well, I don't know, but bottom line is that 2 out of 3 is the recipe. And, of course, as always, we'll continue to monitor. Look, the question about Matt McCann, I think, is too early to answer how well these guys are going to fit. All of them a step above in competition. But good time to be a Tiger fan. And I'm superstitious. I'm telling you, they're going to compete for an SEC football championship this year. Compete. Still have to make the plays late. And as we know, I was watching a 30 for 30 a couple nights ago on ESPN about the Buffalo Bills. You know, they made it 4 years and were 0 for 4 in the Super Bowl. And you gotta make kicks. You got to get the right calls. I think people understand you got to get breaks. Who in Ohio State land would have thought that they would win the national championship last year after they lost to Michigan for the 4th consecutive year? So peaking at the right time for all these teams. You Tiger fans, show up and enjoy all of your libations and your great food. And let's hope that we can bring these guys in with 2 out of 3, and we'll talk about it next week.
All right, do me a favor, please. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the show again, as always. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, just hit that subscribe button on your way out and hit that notification bell. It doesn't cost you anything. We'd love to have you subscribe here to this YouTube channel. Then head over to TigerBait and try us out for $1. I'd like to have you a part of our TigerBait community. I'm on the message boards day and night. If you got questions, I'm there 7 days a week. So we'd love to have you subscribe to TigerBait. You'll get our newsletters, our text alerts, and much more. So, all right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Good night.